This is our Uncoil series using bands. As you advance through this progression, the same things apply in the coil progression. Always start with the basics. So, you got to be great at the mechanics of the uncoiling of the hips before we start to introduce load. Once we do with the bands, again, we're starting with light resistance, going to heavy, and we're starting slow before we go to fast. These are just coaching points to keep in mind as you start to use these drills in your program. Okay, this is a drill from our uncoil progression. I'm going to use a band. This is just a simple hip extension drill, but it helps the kids uncoil the hips explosively if they're not really used to that movement. So, setup for this is going to be just sitting on the ground. I'm going to use a purple band, but you would go up or down a band based on the level of the kid, the strength of the kid. So the setup, I can just grab the band in the middle. I'm going to go loop on my left foot, loop on my right foot, and just pull it up over my knees. Okay, from here I want to get it like toward the top of my thighs, not right on my hip joint. And all I'm going to do is extend. So from here, I'm going to uncoil the hips, squeeze the glutes. Okay, so 20 reps would be a good starting point, 3 sets of 20 reps. You can use this as a superset if you're doing a leg day in the weight room, as any kind of supplemental exercise. This is another exercise in our uncoil progression. This is a teeter drill using heavy band resistance. So I'm going to use an anchor point for this one. I'm going to step into it, and I'm going to walk it out and get it real tight. Okay, from here I'm going to get into my coil, and all I'm working on is my teeter. So my teeter is just that moment right before we're going to uncoil the hips. It's subtle weight transfer. So we start to get in that position where we can explosively uncoil the hips. So I'm here again, here, and I'm just starting that weight transfer. Okay, a couple things to look for is that we're maintaining, our feet are maintaining contact with the ground on our insteps. The knees are starting to come down and out as I start to get ready to uncoil my hips. Okay? Again, this is a drill it's not taxing physically, but it's a necessary skill to get full use of our hips. This is another drill in our uncoil series. This is a banded broad jump. So I'm going to use one green band and an anchor point. You can do this on a field with partners, where one partner can hold the band. A kid can do multiple reps down the field, and they can switch and come back. Again, I always like bands because you get bang for your buck. You can work 2 kids out very quickly when you're in a team setting. But for the demonstration, I'm taking the band and step into it. Okay. From here, I'm going to get some tension, get in my coil position, and I'm going to teeter and jump out. So I'm here, walk back, reset. Reset. Okay, for this one I'd say 5 reps would be a good starting point, maybe 3 sets of 5 reps. A couple of things that you're looking for is to make sure the kid does do a teeter before he uncoils, and also that his hands stay in guard. A lot of times you'll see a kid do this one the first time, and this is what they do. Putting a big bullseye on your chest, you're also putting your head forward. It tends to make your head go forward, and we never want to make contact with our head. So this is a great drill, but things to look for. This is another drill in our uncoil series using bands. This is a wrecking ball drill with band resistance. So you can do it with a partner, but one of the key things with the setup is you don't want to, if you're using an anchor point, you don't want it to be a high anchor. You want to be able to come low to high with your hips. Hence the name, the wrecking ball, coming low to high. So Ron is going to hold it low for me. If you have a kid doing it, make sure they have a steady grip because it's going to be quite a bit of force. So from here, I'm going to just step over the band. I'm going to walk out some tension. So I'm really turning my hands off. So one of the things here, my hands are going to rest like inside my hips, and I'm not pulling the band with my upper body. All I'm doing is I'm coiling the hips, and the hands will kind of come with it. Okay, so I'm here. You can always walk out and get a little more tension. Okay, this can be done for reps. I would say maybe 8 reps. It could be done on a field, or it could be part of a superset if you're doing something in the weight room. Okay, and then obviously the other kid would get a turn if you're working in partners. Okay, great drill for developing that low to high uncoiling of the hips. Okay, this is another drill in our uncoil progression. This is called a wrecking ball drill. This kind of builds off of the hips driving the hands. We just did a drill where our hands were turned off and we used band resistance. Now without that band resistance on my hands will fly to my target. So Ron's gonna hold, you see how he's holding it is really, you wanna be really braced for this because I'm gonna give it a pretty good shot. So he's gonna come here, I'm gonna go to my coil posture, and I'm gonna uncoil my hips, bring my hands. So I'm here, okay, reset, bring it a little closer. I'm here. Okay, that's the next progression to getting the hands to fly to the target. This is another drill in our Uncoil series using bands. This is a brace hot drill with band attached setup. So I'm going to use an anchor point here. You could also do it on a field with partners. I'm going to get in it and walk out some tension. Now what would help is if we had a line. If we had a line to set up, you could do it in the weight room with a piece of chalk, or you do it on a yard line as an easy one on the field. So the setup would be to start with our hips behind the line and our heels in front of it. And what we're going to do is we're going to brace hop back, hips will uncoil when the feet hit the ground, and it should switch the position of our hips and our feet. So I'm starting with my heels in front, my hips behind. When I do it, the hips are going to go forward and the feet are going to be behind the line. So in full speed it would look like this, coil position. Okay, a couple things you're looking for is the feet are going to turn out and the weight's going to go into my insteps. Okay, you don't want to uncoil the hips before the feet hit the ground or long after. It should be somewhat simultaneous. Feet hit the ground, hips uncoil. Okay, again, this can be done for reps, 5 to 10 reps, 3 sets. You can do it with a partner. You guys switch off, however you want to set it up.